So, thanks to so many of you on Instagram, I'm here to answer your questions about all things psychology related. I'm Dr. Nadia Sadiq, I'm a counselling psychologist, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you about the route to take if you want to become a psychologist. Let's start at A-levels. According to the BPS, most universities, when you're studying a psychology degree, will look for at least one science subject in your A-levels, so keep that in mind. When choosing a psychology degree, you want to make sure that it's an accredited degree. The reason for this is that when you graduate and when you're applying for the doctorate, you will need to become a graduate member of the BPS, which is the British Psychological Society. So to become a member of the BPS, you need to have done an accredited psychology degree. Ideally, with your psychology degree, you want to be aiming to get a 2-1 or a first. The reason for this is that the doctorate is the highest level of qualification that any university can award to a student. So, yes, the academic standards, your academic ability, your dedication needs to be quite high. All of this will be obviously tested when you go for interview for your doctorate. Now you want to look into the different universities that are offering the course that you want to do. So obviously in today's video I'm focusing on counselling psychology because that's what I did. But there are a whole host of other psychology fields that you could go into, so question to consider. Make sure you find out what you're interested in, because it could be forensics, it could be health, it could be education, it could be clinical, it could be counselling. So you might need to do a little bit of research, get some experience in different areas and find what fits for you. So when you come to applying for a doctorate, question to consider, which universities would you apply to? Which universities offer the course that you're looking for? Which universities feel like the right fit for you? You also want to check their entry requirements because each university will be slightly different. Once you've done your psychology degree, you've got your experience, most counselling psychology doctorate courses will also require a postgraduate certificate in counselling skills. So this is usually a 1-year part-time course, and it's focused on a particular area of psychology, whether it's psychodynamic or humanistic, person-centered. You'll spend that year getting a bit deeper and understanding the foundations and learning some counselling skills. For me, this was my kind of first foot in the door of counselling and the thing that really cemented for me that, yeah, this was absolutely what I wanted to do with my life. So another kind of question to consider for you is, what do you want to do with your career in the future? What are your aims in your career? Doctorates can be either full-time or part-time, so they can take between 3 years up to 8 or 9 years. So yes, if you're in it for the long haul. But it is absolutely worth it if this is what you want to do with your career life or with your life, because it very much becomes a part of your life and not just work. And when you've done your doctorate, you've put in all those grueling hours of work, you've learned some amazing things, and you've boosted your skills and become a nice rounded practitioner, you'll be eligible to register with the HCPC, which is the Health and Care Professions Council. So the title of a psychologist is a protected title by law, and you can only use it if you're registered with the HCPC. Of course, if you want to do therapy and you want to do one-to-one work with clients or patients, you want to work with children or you want to work with adults, you don't have to become a psychologist for this. There are so many other routes that you can take to become either a therapist, a CBT therapist, a counsellor, a psychotherapist, art therapist. But this specifically, if you want to become a psychologist, this is the route that you take. I just want to rewind a little bit back to your degree. If you don't have a psychology degree, what you could do is do a conversion course, or there's something new that I don't really know much information about this, but something that the BPS is providing called the Qualification in Counselling Psychology. It's a more independent route to becoming a psychologist, but there's also that if you didn't want to, for whatever reason, you didn't want to or you couldn't take the doctorate route. With everything that's been said, I hope it has been helpful, but make sure that you also speak to tutors, speak to your lecturers, speak to careers advisors who can discuss your situation and your interests, your choices, your options. When you're applying for a doctorate, make sure you read the entry requirements from each university because it will vary slightly and the courses will be slightly different, so you want to find what fits for you. You might notice actually, I didn't mention about getting a master's because this is not a must. And usually people think, okay, I have to do a master's, which adds another 3 years, 5 years, 1 year to your education timeline. But it's not a must. This is why it's so important to check the entry requirements, because if you've got your psychology degree, you've got your postgraduate counselling certificate and your experience, there's nothing stopping you from applying to the counselling psychology doctorate. So that's me ending here. I hope this video has been useful. If you've got any comments, maybe you're on this road and you've got some tips, anything that you want to share from your experiences, please leave a comment below. And to stay up to date with more videos, hit the subscribe button.